We're going to talk about how to do the V block drawing. In the V block drawing, you're going to learn how to draw hidden lines. You're going to learn how to draw a V, which is basically a connect the dot method. You're not going to be able to do this with your regular tools. I'm going to go over extension dimension lines. The start point for this drawing is 2 1/4 to the right, and it's 1 3/16 up. You don't need to write those two measurements. There's an example of this on your Schoology also. All right, so I started by ripping my tape already. I'm going to line up my corner of my drawing. Once I have one corner lined up, I can tape my second. I double check that it's still straight, which it is. And I tape my third and my fourth corners. Once I've done this, I like to do all my measurements at once for my title block and my border. So I'm going to measure in on the bottom, actually. I'm going to measure in half from the side, half from the side. I'm going to measure in down half from the top, up half from the bottom. Then I'm going to go 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8. I'm actually going to measure over for my half-inch mark, my 3 inches, 6 inches, and 9 inches. I know you can't really see those, they're pretty light, but in general, it's nice and easy to get them all done at once to streamline the process. If you like doing them piece by piece, that's up to you. Get your border created. Over here by your 9-inch mark, draw yourself a light reference line, and that'll let you know exactly where you need to draw your dividing lines. Now there's your title block. After you have completed your title block, let's find your start point. Your start point is going to be 2 1/4 over, like we said. It has to be 1 3/16 up. Hit your 1 3/16. Draw yourself a nice horizontal line. That's your 2 1/4. You can draw your vertical line. You can start down here. I like to start right at the start point instead. That way I have less lines to erase. Okay, from here, you're going to measure over. You pay attention to the drawing. It says half, 3/4, 3/4, half. That's going to be here. Half, 3/4, 3/4, and then half. We know that there's 1 inch in between drawings, and because we see the depth here is 1 1/2, we know that this is also 1 1/2. So I'm going to start by actually making all those measurements. Half, 3/4 more, 3/4 more than that, ½ inch from there, 1 more inch for the space in between, and then 1 1/2 for the actual depth of the drawing. Height-wise, same idea. I'm going to come up 1 inch, 2 inches for the height, 1 inch in between, and then 1 1/2 for the depth. Because I've done all these lines lightly and made these marks, I'm now going to do them lightly across. I should have a good set of reference lines to do my drawing from. Using your T-square and triangle, start to draw your verticals. What's good about this is you can actually draw your permanent lines nice and dark right now because you know where they start and they end. So for here, I'm not going to draw a permanent line because it's not a line. I'm just going to put a little mark here at the top. Draw a permanent line up top. For this middle spot, I'm going to put a little mark in the middle. On the top, and draw my permanent line. For this other ½ inch mark, I'm going to put a little mark on the top and draw my permanent line here. That's the start of it. To do the V, you're going to play connect the dots. You place your pencil right on your top dot. You place your triangle against your pencil and you rotate it until it lines up with the second dot. Okay? A little trick that I like to do most of the time is I put my pencil on the first dot, line up the second dot, lift my pencil, place it back on the first dot, on the second dot I should say, and then I know I'm actually touching both spots. You can then erase the little gap between. To do your side view, draw your 2 permanent vertical lines up. That's a cool little trick when you're doing dimension lines. Not dimension lines, hidden lines, I should say. Okay, when you're doing hidden lines, if you have a nice eraser like this, and you purchased the school kit, not the one that I gave you, but the actual kit from Blick Art Supply, it should have came with an eraser shield, something that looks like this. The eraser shield has a bunch of holes in the middle. If you line those holes up with your hidden line, I'm going to draw the line dark first. If you line it up with your hidden line and you place your circles above it, and you use your eraser, it will actually erase the lines so they look just like nice uniform hidden lines perfectly. Once you've done that, you can go back, you can darken your lines up. While I'm darkening my lines up, I'm also going to draw out my extension lines like these. Okay, so darken my line nice and dark, lightly draw out my extension line. Come over here, darken my line up, draw my extension line out, come to the top, darken my lines up, lift my pencil, draw my extension line, darken my line, lift my pencil, draw my extension line, darken my line, lift my pencil, draw my extension line. Same thing on the top. These are already dark, so I'm just going to draw the extension lines up. All right, and then when we do our dimension extension lines, the magic numbers are 1/4 and 1/2. Same thing here, 1/4 and 1/2. At the 1/4 inch mark, draw your dimension line. I like to, when I have share an extension line, I draw the line right across it so that the 2 lines meet, and you just add your arrowheads to the ends of the line. 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch, arrowhead, arrowhead, 3/4 of an inch, arrowhead, 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 1/2 inch. Now at the 1/2 inch mark, you slide your T-square up, erase the extra. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on the side here. Draw your dimension line, like so. Put your arrowheads on. Write your measurement, 1 inch, 1 inch. Come over to your 1/2 inch mark. Erase the extra. Add your arrowheads over here, and write 1 and 1/2 inches. After you erase this line here, and this line here, and this is here, you should basically be done with your drawing. The name of this drawing is going to be called V-block orthographic or orthographic V-block. Scale is 1.1 equals 1:1. Your name is here. New Hyde Park goes here. Memorial High School, date, and period. I hope this helps.